My name's William Earl. I did my program design for basketball. Both my in-season and off-season training weeks, I went with the concept of 3 different days. I have my development days, my stimulation days, and regeneration days. Developments focus on power and strength, mainly to improve and mimic gameplay movements. Stimulation days are to basically tie the entire week together to make sure that every muscle group is hit at least once. It's more to perform maintenance throughout the entire body, maintenance for strength and stamina. It heightens the body function and it should be challenging but not overwhelming. Have our regeneration day, and that's mainly active recovery or inactive recovery. And this to help speed up healing of your muscle fibers, also to work on deficiencies, and I also added in some core focus in there as well. In-season training schedule, I went with 2 development days, 2 stimulation days, and 1 regeneration day. There's going to be a lot of focus and heavy emphasis on legs, core, and pushing movements. Legs is going to be to develop explosive strength. Pushing movements are to improve shot power. We're also going to focus on core to try and create that overall stability and body equilibrium throughout all the muscle groups. I also every day wanted to incorporate cardio aspects with the core. Throughout the training week, every muscle group I tried to target at least once in order to maintain that strength and endurance for that muscle. I'm going to start off with Monday, our stimulation day, first one. Stimulation days, again, are to perform maintenance, maintain strength and stamina. So we're going to start a heavy focus on back and legs for explosiveness. All of these exercises also mimic gameplay movements. Transition to accessory focus, and that's going to be more upper body oriented, more for hypertrophy and strength. This is to kind of make sure there's an equilibrium throughout the entire body, so you're not overtraining just 1 or 2 muscle groups. And then every day is basically going to cool down the exact same way as well. You're going to have a core aspect followed by a cool down jog. And then after that, there's going to be a full body stretch, incorporating every muscle that was hit throughout that training day. Now, the goal of development days, that's going to have more of an emphasis on power and strength. This is going to be workouts that kind of push the body to its limits, and all of these exercises are to mimic gameplay movement and situations that you might encounter during a basketball game. So we're going to warm up this exact same way, get the blood flowing with a jog and dynamic drills. Then we move into tempo sprints to work on that explosiveness, weighted walking lunges for strength, and explosive box squats for explosiveness as well. Next, for accessory, we're going to focus on upper body, but this time on push exercises for defense and shot strength. This is going to be chest and shoulder oriented with a multi-joint focus. It's not typical for accessory lifts, but this is a development day, so we are trying to push the body to its limits and really tear those fibers and grow. So after that, we're going to cool down the exact same way, a core incorporation, then we're cool down jog, and a full body stretch. Second stimulation day is to tie in all exercises that were not targeted in the first 2 days. So this is going to be a ranged focus again to fill in some of the gaps. Warm up exactly the same way. Then we're going to have a hamstring focus on legs for heavy lifts with upper body push, shoulder and chest exercises, the weighted dips. Then for our accessory exercises, we are doing some more leg and upper body movements to accommodate those strength and power exercises. And then we're just going to cool down the exact same way with a core aspect, jog, and full stretch. Our second development day is going to have a heavy focus on legs. However, this is going to be machine based to add some structure to the workout. This is to focus more on contraction to build strength in these movements, as opposed to the first development day was to mimic gameplay situations. So you're going to perform all of these on guided machines. Our accessory focus is going to be upper body. That's going to incorporate back as well as standing calf exercises to complement the seated calf exercises on the first day of the week, and to tie in the rest of the movements once again. So at this point in the week, we've hit every muscle group, while at the same time keeping an emphasis on explosiveness, in the legs for running and jumping, including shots or trying to catch up to someone on the court. Also with pushing and pulling exercises. So that's going to be for stability in defense, as well as shot power and power in your throws. And then after that, you're just going to cool down the same way with the core, run, and stretch. And that core is to also complement that equilibrium and stability that we've been trying to achieve throughout the entire week. Our last day for this week is regeneration. That's going to start the same way. The goal is to facilitate healing. Our main focus is going to be pulling a lot of the main muscle groups that we targeted throughout the week and hitting those same exact groups, but at a much lower intensity than before. Just to kind of get the blood in there, break up scar tissue, and help combat soreness. The accessory lift in these regeneration days, I put a strict core focus on. So it's going to take core exercises that were incorporated throughout the week and kind of make a little circuit of them. And then after that, you're going to cool down with some moderate intensity sprints. And then lastly, with a full body stretch. And then it leads you into the weekend where you have your inactive recovery days, so you have some rest after that nice, light, easy workout as well. It's hard to delve into all of this in such a short amount of time, but I'll try and skim over this off-season week, only because all of the days basically shadow the days in the development in the during season schedule. However, this off-season week is going to have one less development day and add a second regeneration day while keeping 2 stimulation days. So we're really going to focus less on growing and strength and more on maintenance. So we're starting with stimulation day 1. As I said, every day warms up basically the exact same way, except I incorporated some jump rope just to switch it up from running. Again, that's the cardio aspect incorporated every day. We're going to do 2 legs and 1 push exercise for both the main lifts and the accessory lifts. Exercises chosen for this week were basically chosen for the exact same reasons as the in-season. To maintain strength and endurance for all of these muscle groups. Like I said, not so much trying to grow them, but more just maintaining. You're going to cool down the exact same way in this off-season schedule as well. with a core aspect, and then you have your jog and then a full stretch. Our one development day is going to incorporate game day activities like explosiveness in the box squats for jumps, standing tempo lunges for endurance in the legs, and then you also have your tempo sprints to get those fast twitch muscle fibers trained. Accessory lifts for this one day is going to incorporate all upper body. You have 2 multi-joint exercises and then 1 single joint exercise. The main idea of this is just to emphasize upper body incorporation in this growth day to balance the lower body training, and then cool down the exact same way. Regeneration day, this is your first inactive recovery day. That's going to be followed by a stimulation. So again, stimulations for maintenance, heightening muscle and joint functionality, so not so much trying to kill you. We're just going through the motions here, nothing too crazy. Same exact exercises from off season, except this is going to be a little less moderate. Accessory lift is going to be upper body as well. Again, that's going to have back as well as push exercises, and I threw in the calf exercises as well. You can't forget about the calves in especially basketball. They are very key for jumping and just movement of the player anywhere on the court. And this day you're cooling down exactly the same way. And then our final regeneration day before an inactive recovery weekend. Our run is going to be a little bit longer this time, only to focus on breaking up all that scar tissue, and the main focus for this day is going to be cardio as opposed to strength exercises. So the same as in season for off-season regeneration, these exercises are merely to just use those muscles and get blood flowing in them, to break up the soreness from, training the previous week. Our accessory is going to focus on push and core at a lighter intensity again. That's to tie in all the exercises, make sure that we're hitting everything at least once during this training week, while not always trying to solely develop it, more just for maintenance. And that on that final day, you're going to cool down exactly the same way as every day before, with a run and a full stretch.